Welcome to the Butterfly Effect. I'm Chris Horner. This is stage 2 of Dauphiné 2021. Stage is 172 kilometers, about 105 miles in length, 5 categorized climbs. The first one being the most difficult, a category 1, but won't start till about 45 kilometers into the stage. So we're talking about just under 30 miles. Now, this stage really didn't make any sense to me. When I turned it on at 65 kilometers to go, there's 5 guys in the break, 4 at that point in time, but 5 originally. And Lotto Soudal has a rider up there. Matthew Holmes is in the break. Now that's already sending off light bulbs in my head. Lotto Soudal have the race leader, Brent Van Moor, and now they have a rider in the break. This is normally not acceptable in the peloton, and they don't see this happening very often. So when I see that, okay, it's pretty strange, but Moore is not a climber. He's not a GC guy. Lotto Soudal clearly aren't going to ride all day long for Moore in order to keep and protect the yellow jersey. Now remember, Moore had all of the jerseys at the finish on the podium of yesterday's stage 1, but now today they're going to go with Matthew Holmes in the front break. So that's automatically kind of strange. Other thing being strange, when I looked, because I'm watching on NBC Sports Gold, I'm coming in at about 65K from the finish. So I have to go to the cycling forums and read what had happened early in the stage. Now this group of 5, they rolled off, it seemed like pretty easy, about 15 kilometers into the stage. Maybe had to fight for 5-10 kilometers of some guys chasing in the field, but after that it was shut down and they were allowed to go. Big contrast to what we've seen at the Giro d'Italia, where on a flat part of the stage before a climb that comes 80 kilometers into the stage, normally it's just ape crazy back there and attacks nonstop for 40, 50, 60 kilometers. Today they just let these 5 guys roll away. Now, that part I can kind of somewhat explain because the sprinters here, there's not a lot of them, so that will change how much strength you have on the front of the group to chase the breakaways. But because of that, that's also a sign why there should have just been massive attacks all day long, because everyone, when they went to bed last night, should have known that there's a good chance that the break can go the distance on today's stage. So the 5 guys up the road: Lucas Posterberger from Bora Hansgrohe, Matthew Holmes from Lotto Soudal, Anthony De La Place from Arkea, Robert Power from Quebec Assos, and Shane Archibald from Dauphiné Quickstep. Now these guys are working good together, but they'll lose Power 60 kilometers to go. I mean, basically he's getting popped the moment that I turn the TV on. I'm watching him go out the back, so I thought maybe it had been a crazy hard stage. Now when I'm watching the field behind, they're just riding easy back there. Ineos is controlling the group. No stress. It's not strung out. It's not single file. There's no crosswinds. There was category 1 climb, so I thought maybe it would blown up and the break was going crazy, and that's why we see Power's drops. But doesn't make any sense. Powers drops and then gets dropped from the field and abandons the race. So clearly he must have been sick. But when I'm watching this stage, that's not what I'm thinking at first until I find out later when he abandons. Now the 4 guys up front, they'll work well together. Even Matthew Holmes, I see him coming through. They go down one of the descents with about 35 kilometers to go, and all of a sudden the camera points back to them and they're split in half. And it's Archibald and Posterberger, the Bora Hansgrohe rider, jumped the 2 guys at some point in time or just distanced them through the corner. We missed it on video. So now you got 2 riders chasing 2 riders. This is just blowing my mind apart. Like 35 kilometers to go and they're splitting the break up with 2 and 2. It just didn't make any sense. Again, now in the back, same thing. It's just been Ineos riding. No worries from Bahrain Victorious. They finally started riding with about 50 kilometers to go, but they're still riding pretty easy, and they're giving this break 3.5 minutes the whole time. Now you got 2 guys, Dauphiné Quickstep and Bora Hansgrohe, and they are just riding at the front as hard as they can. With 17 kilometers to go, now the race gets exciting. Before that, not much happening. Like I said, it didn't make any sense to me personally. 17 kilometers to go, they're going to hit the category 2. It's about 7 kilometers in length and 6.5% average. So it's a good size climb. I really believe climbs start to get difficult after 6%. So 6.5 is just in that limit to where sprinters can or may not make it over in the front group. But we saw yesterday Sonny Colbrelli's riding well, so Bahrain Victorious is doing their job on the front. Ineos have come to the front and rode most of the stage. Now they're back at the front for the beginning of this climb because they want to keep their GC guys in a perfect position to start the Category 2. Jumbo-Visma's doing a great job over there too of starting to climb at the front, but honestly it looks like a pretty easy stage to start the climb at the front without much difficulty. When we get on the climb, things start to get excited because Postelberger just stomps on the pedal and distanced Archibald, the Dauphiné quick-step rider, immediately, and now it's a solo race. We're talking a drag race from one rider, Bora Hansgrohe, versus whoever's left from Bahrain Victorious, and there's not many of them left. When we start the climb, the pace starts getting pretty thick and heavy. At 9 kilometers to go, the cycling gods Giveth yesterday and the cycling gods Taketh away today because it's race leader Brent Van Moor who's fallen out the back. The kid won every jersey there was and had it at the start of today's stage, and he's going to lose them all with 9 kilometers to go, along with Tour de France legend Chris Froome going out the back with the race leader. Now, for Froome, this is a terrible sign. I already said the racing hadn't been that intense. This was the first moment where the racing had really started to heat up, and it had only been on for about 6-7 kilometers when Chris Froome had gotten popped off the back. It's going to be a difficult time for Chris Froome at this year's Dauphiné, and he's not going to have that much time for training and recovery before the Tour de France starts. In my mind, today's stage reaffirms what I said yesterday. There's no chance he's going to have a good 2021 Tour de France and be racing for the victory. Now up front over the climb, Ben O'Connor from AG2R is trying to bridge the gap up to Postelberger, the Bora Hansgrohe rider, but he can't close the gap. The Bahrain Victorious riders will finally regroup over the top of the climb with 2 of the riders riding the front for Sonny Colbrelli, who's trying to win the stage. They came up short on stage 1 yesterday. Here at stage 2, Sonny Colbrelli had done a great job of getting over the Category 2, and his 2 Bahrain Victorious riders are doing everything they can to bring back Postelberger, who's going solo at the front. Postelberger's head is down, and he is dicing up the curves whenever he can, pushing hard on the pedals all the way to the line. He'll come out of the final right bend to the finish line with about 75 meters to go. He'll stand up to start sprinting, and his legs are just wobbling all over the place, and you see him fall right back onto his saddle. He rolls across the line with his arms raised in a great victory salute. Now, this was a fantastic ride from Postelberger. He really held off the whole Bahrain Victorious squad back there all the way up the Category 2 climb, down the descent, and just holds off at the finish line to win by 10-15 seconds away from Sonny Colbrelli, who gets second, and Alejandro Valverde, who's on his wheel for third and taking time bonuses. Valverde, remember, is over 40 years of age, close to my heart now, and he's riding fantastic, taking time bonuses, the highest out of the GC favorites going further on these stages in Dauphiné. Now, look for something exciting tomorrow because it should be a field sprint. Hopefully, guys are motivated at the start to be attacking like crazy and really light this race up. But Bahrain Victorious, after getting 2 second places and with Sonny Colbrelli showing so fantastic on both yesterday's final climbs and today's final climbs, these second places is not what he wants. He does keep the sprint leader's jersey, so he did get a good prize out of today's stage, but not the win. Tomorrow, I would imagine, after the meeting that they have tonight, the director surely will be getting on the riders and getting them motivated to try to help Sonny Colbrelli win a stage tomorrow. Big effort. Look forward to a big effort from Bahrain Victorious on tomorrow's stage to keep this field all together and deliver Sonny Colbrelli to a sprint. Alejandro Valverde is looking fabulous, third on GC. It's going to be a great fight. First, second, and third on today's stage is also first, second, and third on the general classification. Hope you guys enjoyed the butterfly effect. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you real soon.